Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for our first ever virtual garden party event. My name is Kristen Dickerson, and I am so happy to be your host this morning. When we chose the word imagine for the theme this year, we never imagined that we would be looking at completely reworking this event to a virtual platform. But it's been so much fun teaming up with Retrospec Films to do just that. And isn't that what the word imagine is all about? Being innovative, adaptable, seeing all the possibilities and believing that they are obtainable. During this time, we are all learning to imagine a little differently, to think outside the box a little more. Little Lighthouse's staff and families are no stranger to this way of imagining.
Imagine.
To believe something to exist.
To be so.
To dream.
To be creative.
To think outside the box.
Imagine a world
where everyone believed
that nothing was impossible.
Where despite limitations,
despite the situation,
there was a determination.
A light in the darkness.
There is a light, and we can imagine
a brighter world.
One that doesn't give up hope.
One that doesn't stop growing.
One that doesn't stop giving.
Because of the fear of the unknown.
Together, we can create this world.
We can believe.
We can adapt.
There is so much unfolding.
There's so much good to come.
At Little Lighthouse, we know what it feels like to have normality shaken.
To not know what's next.
What's possible.
But we've seen the light.
We've experienced breakthroughs no matter how big
or seemingly small.
We've seen what we heard would never be
become reality.
We've imagined together all our children can overcome.
And we've seen potential unlocked.
Through love.
Through hope.
Through joy.
Through friendship.
Through hard work.
Through understanding.
Imagine all that you can become when you are believed in.
When you learn to believe in yourself.
At the Little Lighthouse, we learn to encourage belief.
In our children.
In each other.
In our community.
Imagine.
Imagine.
All you can become.
All I can become.
All we can become.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Imagine. Imagine.
Imagine.
Imagine. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine.
We love our parents at Little Lighthouse. You all are amazing. Now, Lindsay Nozak, the events director, will be joining me to go over a few of the housekeeping rules.
Thanks, Kristen. Hey, I love your garden party hat.
Thank you very much. I love yours as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, hello. Welcome, everyone watching. A few things before we jump in. The silent auction may look a little different, but we are still having it. At the top right corner of the website, you will find a link. Bidding will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. Winners of the auction items will be automatically notified via email.
We have had so many generous people donate items for you all to bid on, and we're still doing the hat contest.
Yes, that's right. Post a selfie of you in your hat to Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag GardenParty2020 to enter for a chance to win a $100 gift card for Sunday brunch at Cedar Ridge Country Club. Winners will be announced via our Facebook page tomorrow morning.
And what if they don't have social media?
That's okay. You can also email us your submission at events@littlelighthouse.org and we will email you if you win.
Fantastic. Now, we would also love to hear who is watching and where you are watching from. Let us know in the live feed beside this video.
Thank you so much to everyone who is watching, and a quick shout out to all of our amazing sponsors, all who are listed at the bottom of this page. We couldn't do what we do without you guys.
And remember, this is a perfect time to spread the word about Little Lighthouse. So invite everyone and anyone, hop on Facebook and tag people to join or send a text to all of your friends with a link to this website. All right, let's continue on with the 17th annual garden party.
We are so glad that you are here joining us at the garden party. We have so many fun things to offer you today, so we're thrilled that you're joining us. The Little Lighthouse, in case you are not aware, is a Christian developmental center providing early intervention to children with special needs. And the best part about the Little Lighthouse is all of it is free. These children are so special in God's eyes, and we want to do the very best we can to help them thrive. Our group contains our special education teachers and therapists, nurses and volunteers. All of us come together as a team to really help our children thrive, because we believe there's nothing that is impossible with God, and He will help us walk out these days, even when they're difficult, to do our very best for the children. And that's what's happening right now. So thank you for joining us for the garden party. We love you, we appreciate you, and we couldn't do this without you. Thank you.
I decided that I wanted to be a teacher back in actually middle school. I was actually working with a little boy named Curtis, and he had Down syndrome. I'm actually still friends with Curtis today. I started in college working with deaf people, and that kind of just stirred that love for special needs.
I get to give and give and give, but I also get to receive back from these children. That's what just makes this place like so magical.
When I think about the Little Lighthouse, I think of that scripture, let all you do be done in love. Every day I walk into the Little Lighthouse and I see everything being done with love. Wow.
I think I used to live by those standards of needing to be productive, improve myself, but really being a part of this organization that teaches that we're here to love and serve and be creative.
They're amazing. They're so fun. They're so accepting. They're just kids.
I really do believe this place is like nowhere else in the world. And I think that what makes it that way is the teachers and the therapists. Like, I believe that they're the best in the world.
I'm so lucky to work at a place that they just work so hard and they love so much harder. They never cease to amaze me how much love that they share with their friends and with their teachers.
We are so grateful for all of the amazing teachers and therapists at Little Lighthouse. Now let's hear it from longtime supporter Kenny Easton. If you have been to the garden party event before, then you have seen Kenny's amazing playhouses go for hundreds of thousands of dollars during the live auction, and it is always such a powerful moment. But do you know his story? Next, we're going to learn a little more about the man behind the playhouses and why he builds them every year.
My name's Kenny Easton. I live here in Tulsa, and I have a business called Frame Tech. For 40 years now, we frame a lot of homes in Tulsa and everything, and built a lot of playhouses too. Took Vo-Tech my senior year and took carpentry, and just felt like that's what I wanted to do, and as soon as I got out of school, I went to work for probably a year, and this was back in the 80s. And very tough times, but I was able to find some work, and I had an opportunity and had some gentlemen take me under their wing and put me in business at a young age. Started my business at 19. I just love the structures, putting things together, using my hands. And really, it's just for the hard labor you put into these things, you have something that you can see what you've done, and they've actually become like my monuments through life, that I can go around and for the years and point out, what I've seen and done. As a kid, it was funny. I grew up in apartment complexes, with my mother and brother, and start bringing in all the appliances to these apartments, and I had these big boxes, and we would construct these little forts. And I got into where I was constructing really cool forts, and all the kids wanted to come play in my fort. That was just a knack, something I was born with, I guess, and it just went to a bigger scale. I've always liked to build something, so. And then, getting involved with the playhouse and stuff just really brought the kid out of me. There was an opportunity that came up. There was a group of builders who were getting together to build some playhouses for fundraising. There were 3 being built, and we were going to design and build these, and they were going to be judged. And it became quite a game, but the third year, opportunity came up with a gentleman named Wayne Faribault with Perfection Homes. I was working for him, and he called me and says, I hear you're doing good with playhouses and stuff, and we have a situation. Little Lighthouse is having a party, and we need a playhouse, and they need one pretty quick. I said, okay, how much time I got? I go, well, I got about 2 weeks. And I go, oh, really? So I thought, well, let's see what I can do. And I thought I'd try it. So we got it done and everything, and got invited to the garden party, and we got to sit at the table and everything, and never been in a deal like this before, so I didn't know what to expect. And so here comes all the things and the auctions and everything, and then here comes the playhouse. To me, it was like going to the horse races. The bidder kept coming in, bidding up, and then the people, the crowd, the noise got higher and higher, because I was expecting, you know, it'd be nice to raise $15,000, $20,000 for this thing. And it kept going up, and then I heard $20,000, then I heard $25,000, then I heard $30,000. And I was so overwhelmed, and actually the emotions went through my head. I actually stuck my head underneath the tablecloth. Because I was so emotional. It was just something hit me, something was grabbing me, and I just never dreamed that this would be part of my life from then on. You know, I said, this is my spot. This is what I'm going to do. You know, after that, got invited to the party, got to talk to some therapists there at Little Lighthouse, explaining what these playhouses meant to them and everything, and especially with the blind children and stuff, they get to go around and feel the aspect of what a roof, shingles, windows, a house in a small version that they could tell. So something just went off my mind. I said, well, we got a lot to explore now, you know, so my mind just went a-racing. Here we go.
So during the quarantine, we've been having Zoom meetings with our kids 2 times a day.
As soon as I logged on, Axe said, oh, Miss Jody, I'm so happy to see you. And that made me feel so loved.
Hi, Jonah.
Hi.
I didn't know you were a monkey. Let's go to our next one.
These kids, there's so many things that they can't do, just in a normal day, pandemic or not. They celebrate those little things every single day. It's a great opportunity for us to learn that and continue to live our lives in that same way.
We hope everyone is having an incredible time so far. Every year, we have our kids come on stage and perform for everyone at the garden party. Since we can't do that this year, we decided instead to host a talent show. Next up, a handful of our amazing students are going to show off some of their talents.
Here we go. Here we go. Hi class, today I'm gonna teach you about tigers. Tigers are mammals, which means that they're warm-blooded, covered in fur, and they feed their babies milk. Tigers are also carnivores, which means that they eat meat. Tigers are in the top of the food chain.
Oh, really?
Lucy, look up.
What are you doing for us, Poppy? Cute. Can you do a wheelie? Woo! Good job, sis!
Open and shut. Open and shut. Look at Mimi. Open and shut. The windows on the bus go open
Where'd Mimi go? Peekaboo! Where'd Mimi go? Peekaboo! Here we go. The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep. All through the town. Jump up and...
Good job of looking. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna step and punch.
Aye.
Okay, you're gonna block my punch, and then you gotta flip me. It's gonna be crazy, okay? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Hey!
Hey!
Woo! Axe kick. Oh.
Wait, how did you...
Swing it up and swing down. Oh!
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marcia Mitchell, co-founder of the Little Lighthouse. I have the privilege of presenting a very special award to an individual who has contributed to the growth of the Little Lighthouse and to keeping the light of the Little Lighthouse shining brightly. The award is called the Mighty Oak Award and is presented only to those who have had a very significant impact over a very long period of time. I can think of no one any more deserving than our honoree, Sharon King Davis. Many of you know Sharon King Davis as that dynamic, vivacious MC of our garden party. We all love that moment when we walk into that big ballroom and have Sharon bringing us to the front by singing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning." Many others know Sharon in other ways, such as being a very busy community leader of Tulsa. Still others know her as an inspirational Sunday school teacher and faithful church member. At the Little Lighthouse, we know Sharon King Davis as one that we can always call on, one who has given so much to keep the Little Lighthouse light shining brightly and do everything in her power to help see children of the Little Lighthouse grow and develop. And so, congratulations, Sharon. We are so blessed to know you. I'm sending you a virtual hug and a heart full of gratitude. And I'm sure that all of the families and all of the staff members and all of our leadership, our board of directors, join with me in saying congratulations. This award is so well deserved. We all love you. God bless you.
Greetings to the garden party, and this is so exciting. I want to thank whatever group it is that decided to honor me with the Mighty Oak Award. I truly am honored. But in thinking of it, it's that Christ is the mighty oak, and the rest of us are just little acorns. And we fall where we may, and we do what we can, and we grow up, and there's a whole forest of us. The mighty oaks are the moms and the dads, the incredible staff, and the volunteers at the Little Lighthouse. They pray fervently over each one of these children and those that are on the waiting list. It's a wonderful honor. And I'm so glad that you joined us for the garden party this year. It's a little different, but as I have always started and said at the garden party, oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Blessings are coming our way. Thank you. Have a great time. And don't forget, tuition free at the Little Lighthouse.
I hope you've been enjoying our program so far. I certainly have. And now I want to tell you about a community that is really special and important to us. They're significant. We call them the crew. The crew are those who give to us monthly. In January, I think it was, we had 15 people who were giving to us on a regular basis. And then we started making our opportunity known and letting people know how important this monthly giving was to us. And now we have about 140, which is fantastic. People who are allowing us, by their giving, to plan on programs for our children, to think about the ways we can best help them grow and to thrive. There's so much room for growth. It's easy to join the crew. All you do is go to our website, click a couple of buttons, and give as you would like. We would love you to be a part of that. And now, let's hear from a couple of crew members about their Little Lighthouse story.
Hey, Little Lighthouse. This is Jason Burks here, and I am excited to talk a little bit about the crew for the Little Lighthouse and why I joined the crew this last year.
Hello everyone, my name is Tim Crow and I want to talk about why I'm a member of the crew and how that monthly giving program can help us accomplish the mission of the Little Lighthouse, which is to glorify God by improving the quality of life for children with special needs, their families, and the communities.
Hi, my name is Christina Mackendorfer. I'm a staff member at the Little Lighthouse.
I got involved with the Little Lighthouse about 14 years ago by working on the golf tournament. Over the years, we've attracted golfers from all over the country. I've learned that there's so many of them that actually have special needs kids of their own. They know, like Marcia did back in 1972, that they're not the facilities or the support in their communities to help their children reach the full potential.
It's interesting because I think the Little Lighthouse, once you get involved with it, you realize that you're working with some of the most thankful staff members, parents, and kids that you'll ever meet. Giving is one of those things that's interesting. Like, sometimes you get emotional and you're like, I'm gonna give. But in reality, I think for me, it is more a decision that I wanna make. Like, if I believe in something, then I want to commit to it. And I think, these days, you commit to your Netflix account, you commit to all these various things that are monthly recurring expenses. And so for me, it just made the most sense that, hey, let's just sign up and do the automatic giving every month. And that's what I love about the crew, is it's allowed me to give without even thinking about it. So it just comes out of my bank account. And I don't believe that there's a better cause in the whole city of Tulsa to give to than Little Lighthouse.
I was shocked when I found out how few monthly givers the Little Lighthouse had before we launched the crew. So when the crew launched, I got so excited about the power of me being able to be a champion of the Lighthouse on a consistent basis. God has built such a strong foundation for the Little Lighthouse. We've always trusted God to provide and freely given away everything that we have.
The more money that we can get in commitments each month that can go against our operating budget, the more doors that will open for our outreach across the country. If you can support the Little Lighthouse by becoming a crew member, that would be great. I just want to thank you. God bless you all, and stay safe. Thanks.
I hope today that you'll pull up the link to the crew and sign yourself up. You're going to be so glad not only to give to the Lighthouse, but be connected in a more meaningful way to this incredible family that helps kids and families thrive.
Hope you guys choose to join the crew.
The need to communicate is just so innate to us. We often forget that these kids have those same desires that we do, to connect, to communicate, to let their voice be heard.
We get so used to the term special needs, but really if you break down the words special needs, they have needs just like we do that just are a little bit different. And so that's the fun part of my job, is that I get to see this child who has cerebral palsy and this child who has Down syndrome and this child who is autistic, and I have to figure out how each of them can learn this task that I'm trying to teach.
I think we just get the benefit of being on that everyday level with them, and with the mindset not of they can't, but they just haven't yet.
We use assistive technology daily. One of my students, he got his very own AAC device, an iPad, and when you touch the buttons, it talks for you. This week, I sent him 2 or 3 videos of myself talking to him on LAMP, and then he would respond with hugs and kisses, and his favorite word was elephant, and he was having a full conversation with me through videos that I would send to his mom and he would show him, and it's just been really cool to watch.
We have lots of children who use a variety of types of equipment, from a walker to specialized pieces of equipment that help them stand, or they support their whole body but help them be able to take some steps.
our little rooms. We get to hang a lot of stuff from it, depending on the kids' interests. So maybe this child, they really love shiny texture and they really love to hear that like crunch of paper. So you get to hang all of those things down. Maybe they're stimulated with light, music, whatever it is. Kids who maybe are more positioned with their hands in, maybe they have cerebral palsy, get in this room and they see all of these possibilities around them of things that they want to touch and grab and pull and see what happens. Their arms start getting out more, they start getting confident, they start hitting things, pulling things, and then that immediately triggers smiles and laughs. Those moments are so precious.
Little Lighthouse really sees these kids and is like, there's a way. And through that, they help them be kids and unlock that world that's inside their brain most of the time.
Just seeing their tiny little milestones that we take for granted every day, those happening and being able to brag to the parents about it is part of our favorite part of the day.
To see their little faces light up, knowing like when that click happens, that they realize this is something I can do. It's great because we know all along that it's something that they can do, but when they figure it out, their potential just opens up that much more.
How's everyone doing out there? Well, so far we have seen and heard a lot of amazing stories and facts about Little Lighthouse. And I am so excited for you all to hear the Tucker's testimony. Randy and Heath Tucker are parents to Little Lighthouse student Kate Tucker, and this is their story.
My name is Randy Tucker, and my daughter is Kate. Her story doesn't begin like a lot of stories. Our first call didn't come from a doctor confirming a pregnancy or even a diagnosis, but it was a caseworker. They said, we have a newborn, which is really uncommon. And they said, she's healthy, she should be coming home. That's when we started receiving more calls that at first it was, well, she's having some eating difficulties, and then she's having some feeding, and then there's a heart murmur and having a little bit of trouble breathing. After that, they said, are you sure you still want to take her? Because she's going to have a lot of cardiology appointments. Are you sure you want to take on that responsibility? And so we brought her home and quickly discovered there was a lot more than just a few cardiology appointments that we'd be attending. She had 4 congenital heart defects that were pretty significant. And over the next few months, her health deteriorated pretty quickly. The only physician in the country that would operate on her was in California, and she had an extensive open heart surgery she was in for about 15 and a half hours. And so during that surgery, she did suffer a stroke in her spinal cord, and that left her paralyzed from the belly button down. She was diagnosed with Williams syndrome, so that comes with some developmental delays and learning disabilities. It seems like since this little girl has come into the world, she is always just fighting some battle. All the odds are stacked against her. That moment where the deeper in the pit that you are, the better, the sweeter the presence of the Lord is.
I love you.
Allah.
I love you.
Allah.
When we moved up here, one of the first things we did was get her on the waiting list for the Little Lighthouse. And so I remember the first day of school and walking in and just being overwhelmed and thinking, this is a spirit-filled place. You could tell these children were prayed over and they were loved right where they are. It was right before her 4th birthday. She had one goal, I remember. She couldn't blow with her mouth, and she would make the funniest face when she would try it. She'd blow through her nose and she'd get all scrunched up. And Michelle, her teacher at the time in Blue class, found something that just made it click for her. And so one of my favorite videos we have of her in Little Lighthouse is blowing out her candles.
Happy birthday, dear Catherine. Happy birthday to you. Breaking up. Oh, yay!
That was such a big milestone for us, and it seems like such a small thing, something you take for granted, and what a day of celebration that was for us. Just a ball of joy and happiness, and She's loud and a ham. She loves people. In her little world, she is living her best life. She is living life to the fullest. When she wheels down the halls of Little Lighthouse, she always says, I'm running, and she says, run with me. It's so exciting to hear her, and sometimes I forget how far she's come.
Hey, who's your favorite person?
Dad. Oh. It's more than just the physical ability that they work on, it's that confidence of I can do this. And so when they go into the schools, I'm excited. I'm ready to see what she's gonna do, and where the Little Lighthouse has been a light in our lives, I'm ready for her to be the light there. And I feel like she will, just because of who she is, yes, absolutely, but also because of what the people at the Little Lighthouse have given her.
Bye, guys.
We get to walk in and we get to see miracles every day, whether it's, a child learning to walk, whether it's a child learning to make a friend, and getting to share that with parents and getting to see their faces completely light up when you get to say, hey, all of the kids asked for your child yesterday because they missed them so much.
When they get to accomplish a huge goal that every parent has of your child walking. And we've seen that happen with several students. And this year alone, we had one girl that we've had for 2 years in our class. And this year, I'm gonna get emotional, but this year she started walking. And she's just a little amazing bundle of joy.
He was a child who you could tell had so much to say, and he was gonna find a way to tell you. I put a tool called LAMP. It's a communication app. The very first time I put it in front of him, he said, I think the word eat, and then signed it, and then looked over at the kitchen. Today, he is one of the best total communicators I've ever seen. He is.
Joshua Robinson in Aqua class, we've been working on having him feed himself. So for months and months, we worked on him using a spoon strapped around his hand. And one day, and he grabbed it, and he realized that he didn't need to throw it, and that in order to feed himself, he just had to hold on. So he held on and fed himself, and that was really exciting to be a part of that.
I see breakthroughs happening at the Little Lighthouse every day, and I've been there for 14 years, so I've seen a certain amount of breakthroughs over the years with our new building and with different things, and with the kids, breakthroughs in meeting milestones. But I feel like right now, we're in a place where we're experiencing and about to experience a lot of breakthroughs.
Helping kids be kids is really what Little Lighthouse does. They help them reach their full potential through big things like helping a child walk, and even smaller milestones like helping a child learn how to pick up their spoon and feed themselves. Everything is helping those kids reach this level of independence.
Yeah, that moment of seeing a light bulb go off, I think, is what a teacher longs for. But when it's in the special needs community, it's just so much sweeter, and that light is so much brighter.
We have heard so many impactful stories today, from the staff at Little Lighthouse to parents and donors. So many people are invested and a part of the Little Lighthouse story. So many people believe every child deserves the opportunity to receive tools and education that allow them to learn how to adapt to the world around them. As you have heard, at the Little Lighthouse, we see the potential in each child, and we truly believe God created a good plan for each of them and their families. Through tuition-free education and therapeutic services, we are able to help each kid be a kid and each parent be a confident caregiver. That's why today we want to invite you into this story too. We need your help. With your gift, we can continue to provide free resources and empowerment to children with special needs and their families. Each gift, big or small, monthly or annually, allows us the opportunity to support those who need a little guidance and compassion. Imagine being the donor whose gift allowed a child to learn how to eat on their own, play catch with their dad, or learn to say the words, "I love you, Mom." So whether today you decide to join the crew, our community of monthly givers, or bid on a silent auction item, you are offering children with special needs and their families the opportunity to live life to the fullest. So let's finish off with hearing from our friend Kenny one more time.
I heard 20,000, 25,000, 30,000, and I was so overwhelmed. I actually stuck my head underneath the tablecloth. It was just something hit me, something was grabbing me, and in all this, you know, I have 5 kids, and I have one named Lindsay, and she was a special needs kid. And she was born with Pompe's disease, and very rare at the time. And actually, they only gave us 2 years. We went through a lot with her. She lived on a ventilator. She was fed with an NG tube. So the first year, we were trying to find help, and we found a doctor in New York. We took her to New York. And so we get down there, and a lot of things went wrong. She ended up being trached, put on a ventilator at that time. Come to the point where they've done all they could do, and it was time to come home to St. John's Hospital, where she spent 2 years. She was just surviving at this point in time. Her courage to want to be alive, being on 48-hour beds 2 or 3 times and pulling through it, this little girl changed everything for me. We have lost our insurance. Insurance bankrupted us. Her mother, so at Walmart, she became head fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network. She gets called into the office, and she's introduced to Sam Walton. And he hears about our daughter and stuff, and he asks if he could come meet her. And he meets with her and sits with her for about 4 hours, reading her books, this and that, falls in love with her. Turns around to my wife and says, we will pick up insurance on her. So, bam, Walmart covers our insurance. So come her senior year, you know, this is big time. She made it to 12th grade. Who would have ever thought? We get a knock on the door. And this nice young boy comes up to the door. Do you mind if I ask her to the prom? And, well, what? You know, and we're just like, sure, you know. So he comes in there, and my daughter's not prepared for this. She never thought this was ever going to happen. She gets asked to the prom. Just to see the joy on her face and everything, and this boy did it for her. We take her to the prom. He's out there, and he's dancing with her in the wheelchair and stuff. And me and Mom are sitting back kind of watching this, and all of a sudden, this other boy comes walking over and taps him on the shoulder and takes his place. And he was going to dance with her. I thought, what in the world's going on? And so I look over here to the right, and there's about 8 football players lined up to go dance with her. My daughter was flying. It was just unbelievable that night. And then come graduation, Lindsay graduated valedictorian. We get a phone call from a guy who has 2 kids born with Pompe's disease. He works for Squibbs and Myers Pharmaceuticals, and he says that they have found a cure. Lindsay is the oldest living person at this time with it. Kids don't usually live past 8 years old. She's around 18 at this time. And he invites us to come to Oklahoma City to do a ribbon cutting to this new facility that's producing this cure. You know, so we go in there, and I remember walking in, and you would think Cinderella entered the room, and there was people from all the nations. And I said, what's going on? He goes, well, these are all scientists from all over the world. You remember that biopsy we did way back when she was young, and she was like 2 years old, that we had this muscle biopsy done. And that biopsy has traveled all over the world to different scientists to try to find this cure. And he went over to this table and showed me these journals. And there were 3 journals there with her pictures on the face of them. So we're sitting there, and we cut this ribbon. About the time he says, and in dedication, we present this facility in your honor. And I cut that ribbon, and the drapes opened up, and they have this bust on the side of the door going into this entrance. It's a bust of Lindsay, and it's named the Lindsay Page Easton Biological Manufacturing Facility. We're just like, what? And let's see, it all really starts from here, where she kind of get my breath here a minute stuck, because when I built that first playhouse and got to know the Little Lighthouse and stuff and realized what this was all about, and man, it touched me. Realize I know this, I've lived with this, I know what parents are going through. It's my connection with my daughter spiritually, because when I go into these things every year, I start my year off where I'm in the presence of her spirit so much and just glad to be there. I mean, she's not here with us today physically, but spiritually, I still have my 5 kids here with me, okay? It's changed my heart so much that I look at these kids, I fall in love. I see these kids, I see Lindsay in a lot of them. I see Lindsay in all of them, not just a few of them. I see them in all of them. They just, you know, they need the love, and they need the care, and they need a chance, you know, and Little Lighthouse gives that to them. Lindsay is a big part of me doing all this for these kids, and then what it does to help these kids and the connection between her and all these kids. I mean, there's nothing else I can say that this is what I love. This is my mission. This is what God's brought me to do. And I'll do it as long as I'm alive.
What an incredible story. Kenny, thank you so much for the way that you've blessed us. And I want to thank you for the way that you've blessed us by coming today, listening to our first ever virtual garden party, by the way that you give and support these beautiful children, whether you're on the crew or you've just given in different ways by volunteering or giving your gifts, your financial gifts. We so appreciate it, and we need it during these shaky times. Your support allows us to keep on providing that excellent programming and input to our children to allow them to thrive. Our children are treasures. And I want to also let you know that we are praying for you, and we see you as family with us. And I just want to pray a prayer of blessing over you right now. Lord, I pray for all those who are participating in this experience right now, our virtual garden party. I pray that they would know your peace, that they would know your presence in their homes, that you would keep them safe. Lord, you put joy in their hearts. I pray that they would find themselves being happy in the hard and encouraged in the dark. Lord, I pray that most of all, they would know you and your comfort. They would know your love. I pray this blessing over them in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at this year's garden party. We hope you all had a great time and that next year we get to see each other in person. Remember, the silent auction is open until 8 p.m. And also remember, all the cool kids join the crew. So before the day is over, join the crew. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a blessed day.